Hello and welcome to another edition of Issues with Jide. Here we're talking about actions and inactions of those who shape our national and political landscape and how they impact us positively or otherwise. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Today on the show, more trouble for Abba Kyari as NDLEA files charges. Then Petrol scarcity continues to choke Nigerian cities. And lastly on the show, federal government begins evacuation of Nigerians from Romania as Russia intensifies bombings. So in the course of the program, we take your questions, but first, subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop your questions in the comment section. I have joining me via Zoom the maestro himself, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju. BKO, it's good to have you today.
Yeah, it's good to do this with you once again.
Absolutely. So let's get started by looking at the Abba Kyari saga. Now that the federal government has commenced moves to extradite the suspended DCP Abba Kyari to face fraud charges in the United States, what then happens as the NDLEA filed an 8-count charge against him? Are we making headway on this issue or just a merry-go-round?
I think that there was some level of miscommunication because the NDLEA had filed its charges before a court of law on the 28th of February. Then the Attorney General also had his plans to file for extradition of the suspects to the United States. You know, you are not simply going to bundle him into an aircraft and send him to America. There has to be an extradition hearing. So the Attorney General had put machinery in motion with respect to his extradition, not knowing that the NDLEA had actually proceeded to file charges against him and 6 others at a court, in Abuja. So the way things stand, the Attorney General has to decide exactly what needs to be done at this time. By law, he is empowered to discontinue a criminal matter. So if it pleases him to discontinue this matter involving him and the NDLEA, involving Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari and the NDLEA, then it most likely will smoothen the path for the extradition of the suspect to the United States of America. But the Attorney General could be advised by his aides on the best decision to take in this situation. When you weigh the two crimes committing, the case of illegal possession of cocaine and the attempt to bribe narcotic officers to the tune of $61,400 would appear to be a much stronger case than the case that the U.S. Have against him in terms of even the punishment that is likely to be imposed on him if found guilty. If found guilty here in Nigeria for this illegal possession and illegal dealing in cocaine, it will certainly go to no less than 25 years in jail. But I want to believe that in respect of the matter of his involvement in the fraud committed by the sentence will most certainly be more lenient, far more lenient than his involvement in the illegal drug business. So it's for the Attorney General to decide, because if the NDLEA matter is allowed to go on, then by our laws, that has to be decided before the matter of extradition can come in. So whichever way one looks at it, Abba Kyari is in trouble. None of these two cases can be said to be cheap in any way.
Audio. Right. A security expert and retired AIG, Ambrose A. Sabo, said there should be a watertight security around Abba Kyari before being transferred to the USA, because the possibility of his being eliminated or poisoned is very high. He said there is palpable fear everywhere now that Abba Kyari may likely spill the beans, since he may not want to go down alone, as many police officers serving and retired are suspected to have benefited from his illegal activities. What would you say to this, BKO?
Opinion, and you want to believe that the Americans are very competent at handling matters like this. Many times do we read of people, suspects dying in their hands, suspects dying. So I see this as just the opinion of the retired AIG. If he's handed over to the Americans, I'm sure nothing will happen to him. He will serve his time, and if he so wishes, he could return to Nigeria. Although I'm not sure the Americans will want him to remain in their country, after his sentencing. But if it pleases his heart, he could then decide to return to Nigeria. James Ibori was sentenced in the UK. Nothing happened to him. He served his time and he came back to Nigeria. So it's not in all cases that the suspect goes to the point of listing all the people that is involved in crime with. In any case, he has not even owned up to the crime, and he accuses the NDLEA of concocting of fabricating all the things that they claim that he did. He has not admitted. So the issue of going to court to sing like a bird does not even occur. From his body language, he does not even own up to committing this offense, and he has filed a 500 million human rights enforcement case against the NDLEA. So it's just his opinion. I do not share that opinion. I think if the decision is made to send him to the US, nothing is going to happen to him. He's going to be sent there. Don't also forget that even the matter of money laundering, the matter of his involvement in sharing proceeds of crime with Hush Puppy, that one doesn't even involve other Nigerians as such. So who are the big people that is going to be reeling out their names? Perhaps there are big people working with him in respect of this drug business, but we have no evidence of that. And as I said earlier, he has not even owned up to the crime. As far as he's concerned, the NDLEA concocted and fabricated everything that they said about him. So let's leave hypothetical statements for now and face reality.
Right. So before I move to the second topic, someone is asking a question. Ebenezer Obe Felix Akiode. It says, BKO, which one do you prefer, NDLEA or FBI?
Take the question again.
Yeah, Ebenezer wants to know which one you prefer Abba Kyari, to respond to or to answer to. Is it the NDLEA case or the FBI? He's trying to ask whether one should prioritize, whether you prefer that he gets extradited to the United States, or he stays back here in Nigeria and face the NDLEA
Ordinarily,
case?
ordinarily, I should not have a choice, but I can tell you that I would want him to face the bigger court case against him, and that is the NDLEA matter. The NDLEA matter, even as a journalist, I find it more promising in terms of the facts that will come up during the trial. We are talking about even 4 other policemen listed among the suspects, and I believe that matter will open our eyes to a lot of facts that we did not know about Abba Kyari. So for me, if I have to make a choice, I will prefer that he faces his trial here, and I will also be happy if the trial is expedited so that justice can be served quickly. From some of what I've read and even reading those charges, honestly, I can't wait for the trial to start.
Now let's change tack by looking at the current situation in the country. Everyone is really in this big issue, which is the fuel scarcity. We started with the grim story of bad fuel imported to the country. It's more than 2 weeks now, BKO, and we are still looking for fuel to buy, with petrol stations now ripping people off. Why do you think we are still here, BKO?
We are here because of the never-ending lies, the NNPC. At first, the NNPC, the sole importers of PMS. Today, after the scandal of unwholesome petrol imported into our country, we have since discovered that the NNPC has a horde of contractors who bring in the product on his behalf. And shamefully, the NNPC was not even prepared to own up to the nonsense that has happened. It had no qualms reeling out some names as people who should be blamed for what has happened. Well, this sort of thing can only happen in Nigeria. But the NNPC GMD will have thrown in the towel. The minister in charge of petroleum products will have thrown in the towel. Now, people are subjected to unbearable pain because some people refuse to do their jobs. What is the job of the DPR? Don't we have the Standard Organization of Nigeria, who ensures that petrol imported into our country, since we have refineries that are not refining a drop of petrol, yet billions of naira get spent on overheads and other things to keep those dead refineries going. So by now, we should have been talking about punishments, because that is how you ensure that such infractions are not repeated. But what the NNPC is telling us is that they have 1.7 billion liters of petrol, both on land and on sea. So what? Where are they? Where are those billions of liters? If you say you have both on sea and on land, let us know how many liters you have on sea, because we know that the ones on sea we cannot distribute to our people just yet. So let us know what you have pumped into the various distribution outlets. Let us know. The NNPC has got to be transparent, even if that will be for the first time in their lives. They've got to be transparent on this matter. People are suffering. Petrol is now being sold at some places for as high as 350 naira per liter. and people are going through a lot. Petrol at the black market. Otherwise, I would have been grounded. So this is the mess that some people have put us into. Yet, after several weeks, the promise of immediate resolution of the problem has not been fulfilled. So who will continue to listen to the lies from these guys at NNPC? AGO is now being sold at 550 naira per liter. How can businesses thrive in our country when they are spending so much on energy? It's just not going to happen. And inflation will worsen. It's just a natural fact of life. Because people have to make profit. They have to, whatever they spend, to move goods and services from one point to another, they have to find a way to recoup. So everything gets dumped on you and I. So this is the thing. You can't keep saying that Nigerians are involved in panic buying. People can't even have access to the petrol. So where is the matter of panic buying coming from? Is it not what you see that you buy? You want Nigerians to believe that that people are buying and keeping it. Where are they keeping it? At their houses, stores?
Yeah, that brings us.
Do people have tank farms in their houses where they can stop petroleum products?
That brings us to BKO. Let me butt in.
That brings us be able to tell us the truth.
Yeah, let me butt in, BKO. That brings us to the latest, news that is making the rounds. But I will first ask, why does it look like those in the authorities are all out to make life unbearable for the people? And in tandem with what you just, the issue you just raised, we saw a trending video and pictures of a particular person who now made petroleum product as a souvenir for, those who attended his party. 5 liters here and there. So how do you react to this?
It was a very responsible thing to do. And people do a lot of stuff in our country because they know that they won't get punished. People don't fear the law in our country. Go to Benin Republic near us. When the lights indicates that traffic should stop, nobody tries to jump the gun. Nobody. But here you see the traffic light has stopped people, or vehicles will keep moving. That's why accidents are rampant at road intersections in Abuja. I've never seen anywhere where accidents are as rampant as at Abuja's road intersections. Everybody is running. Running to where? Even when the light tells you to stop, you still choose to disobey. Because we get away too much with infringing on the laws of our country. So the person who did the unthinkable of distributing petrol during a party must have told himself that what will happen if I do it? Let me shock people. Let me do something unique. This is an era in which, for social media to gain attention of unthinkable things, some apparently crazed person can run out of his house stark naked, all just to draw people's attention on social media. I know that once this kind of video goes out, people will be talking about it. But I'm happy that the Lagos state government has not only shut the event center where this unthinkable thing happened. They are investigating. And the fellow who did it has apologized. But it's not enough. The celebrator has to be arrested to come and to serve as a deterrent to others. Otherwise, in future, somebody will bring in something worse than that. They were not even thinking about their own well-being. Anything could happen. Any spark will happen. And the whole place will be consumed. People are becoming more and more irresponsible in our country. People behave as if there is no government in place, as if there is no law in place. People come from the UK, from the US, where they dare not infringe on the laws of those countries, and they come into our country to infringe on our own laws. It keeps happening, even during the COVID era. We had curfew, but people were refusing. Those who came from abroad were refusing to obey to that where they were coming from.
Yeah, that's Fabian Akeze actually agreed to your point. He says Nigerians are entitled individuals because everything is for sale in the country, and the elites are the most law-abiding citizens abroad because they know the consequences of breaking the law.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it's right. Somebody came from Germany the other day and was dumping refuse on road intersections in Lagos. Somebody based in Germany. Of course, when he was arrested, he was asked that in Germany, do you dump your waste on road intersections? He said no. Then why do you think it's good enough to come to your own country and dump waste at road intersections? Is that your own definition of patriotism?
Probably because the person knows that he will be punished. There is security cameras here and there that would definitely get to see this person, and the person will be punished definitely. Is it because we're lacking CCTV across the, all the streets of Nigeria, and the fact that if the person is nabbed, he might even get away with it?
It's about the ease with which people get away with crime. If we have CCTVs all over the place, it won't still stop people from committing crime. What will stop people from committing crime is the realization that once you commit this crime, you can't get away with it. We have countries like Israel where even former presidents get arrested and jailed for corruption. How many times have we succeeded in jailing in our country?
Correct. All right, BKO, let's go to our last topic, talking about the Ukraine-Russia war. The ceasefire to allow for humanitarian corridor, but it was violated. What does this mean for the humanitarian corridor, especially with the fact that there could still be some Nigerians who may not have been able to exit Ukraine?
Yes, of course, there are still some Nigerians in Ukraine. In fact, when they picked them up, they left 80 Nigerians behind because the aircraft was the 180-seater aircraft, and they could not airlift everyone at once. So we've airlifted 769 Nigerians in 3 batches, but we left behind, we left behind 80 in Poland. Now, Poland has given our people 50 days visa. It means that we are running out of time. We've got to get them out of Poland before their visas expire. Other countries gave them 1 month visa. Romania, Hungary, and the rest of them gave them 1 month visa. So at least they can stay in those places for some time. I am not surprised that the ceasefire has been violated. The president of Russia has been behaving like an outlaw on this matter. It takes madness to go and throw a bomb at a nuclear plant without even thinking of the repercussion, the implications of radiation and the rest. So I'm not surprised that this has been violated. He's desperate to annex the whole of Ukraine. After earlier annexing Crimea, he wants to annex the whole of Ukraine. He sees bringing back Soviet Union through the back door as the right thing to do. But what he fails to realize is that it's not in all cases that bullies get away with their actions. I oppose the invasion of Iraq on fake intelligence by the US I opposed the invasion of Libya by NATO forces who went there to assist the rebels who were fighting Gaddafi. I saw Gaddafi as my hero even as a young boy. So I was particularly pained that America went there and invaded. NATO went there and kicked Gaddafi out of power. Opposed Iraq's invasion of Kuwait. And I also oppose this invasion because I vote for war. I vote for peace rather than war. The bulk of the people who are dying in Ukraine now are civilians, innocent civilians. The way the Russians are conducting this war is similar to what Israel did in 2006 when he tried to invade Lebanon through the south. And Hezbollah fighters dug in and made sure that they couldn't, Israel couldn't get into their country. Most of the tanks that the Israelis came in were destroyed by anti-tank missiles. So sometimes a country that is defending its territory can record monumental gains. But of course, I know that the Russians will continue to bomb civilian areas so that pressure will be exerted on the president of Ukraine to give up power so that Russia can achieve its aim. But a war in which innocent people, civilians, are being killed is not a war that I want to see. People have got to understand that even Kazakhstan, that Russia assisted when it had violent convulsion across its country, Russia sent troops to stabilize the country. Kazakhstan voted against Russia. So when I see Nigerians banging their heads against the wall and voting for war, I ask myself, have we lost our humanity completely? No sane human being should support war in any form. And I agree with Pope Francis, who said war is an act of cowardice. There's no problem that cannot be solved without resorting to war. The people of Colombia, they have been killing themselves for years, the FARC rebels. Now they are back, after more than 40 years of killing themselves, they are back on the right table negotiating. That's what usually happens after people have lost their lives. You then come back and then you are now holding meetings. That's what you should put
exactly
on the front burner from the first day.
Yeah. All right, BKO, because we have few moments to go, more than 80,000 Ukrainians have flown back to their country to join the military to protect it against the Russian army. What do you think Ukraine has done for its people that makes our citizens willing to die for her? And we have some 200 Nigerians who are also willing to join the Ukrainian forces. Was that a joke or something?
Oh, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. Everywhere you see mercenaries, even during the Nigerian Civil War, there were mercenaries. And you saw what mercenaries did for us, even against Boko Haram. So these guys, there are also people called soldiers of fortune. Of course, they are going to get paid for fighting on the side of Ukraine. So this is not to realize that you are a sovereign country invaded by another country that is powerful. The fact that you could lose your identity, lose your country, is something that people don't want to live with. Look at people like Klitschko, the boxer. He's the mayor of Kiev. Now he has elected to go and fight. They can't have a situation in which they will lose their country to defend their country. They are not cowards. I know that many Nigerians, if they were faced with this kind of situation, they will not want to fight on the side of their country. But not everybody is like that. Ukraine came out of USSR, became an independent country. Now somebody is trying to annex that country, a country of 40 million people. How is it easy to turn a country of 40 million people to your own country and say you want to unite them with Russia. It was the same thing that Saddam tried to do by invading Kuwait. He then called it annexation of Kuwait. So the people have a right to keep their country. They love their country and they want to keep their country. Some of them know that they will die in the process. But to them, honor is standing up and fighting to keep what belongs to you. So, and I believe, of course, Ukraine is not like Norway that literally has everything, but the people are proud to be Ukrainians and they don't want to lose that identity. They know that if they do not stand up and fight, that they will lose their country. You know? So it's just like Algeria during the War of Independence. Algeria lost so many people, but they refused to give up the fight.
Correct.
France had to leave Algeria in disgrace. That has happened so many times. I'm a historian.
Yeah.
It's not in all cases that the bully wins a war. This same Russia thought it could defeat Japan. Japan taught Russia a big lesson. It defeated Russia comprehensively in war.
BKO, Stanley Maduka says, Jide, can you really blame Nigerians that refuse to come back home from Ukraine despite the war? Some say at least they can enjoy basic amenities there despite the war.
They are struggling even when their buildings are being bombed. They are still struggling to restore infrastructure, restore water supply and all that. You see, these countries, why are Nigerians going to Ukraine to school? Because they know that it's a good place to learn, you know? But what we are seeing is a single-minded determination to destroy the country, destroy its infrastructure, destroy. You are not even targeting military, going for military targets. So simply attacking and bombing civilian areas. I mean, it's crazy. So I'm not surprised that the people are determined. Even if they get killed, they have a right to defend their country, and that's what they are doing. It makes me happy that they are not cowards. They are fighting a much stronger, a much bigger country. But they have shown that they have the resilience, and if anybody thought that the war will end after the first week, they've been proved wrong.
All right, BKO, I think we're out of time. But let me quickly bring this to your knowledge. Evans, I think so, is saying, just a moment. It says, Ibrahim, well, although he wrote Ibro, but Ibro staff for BKO fans, so we can form a BKO family worldwide. And he also said in another place, Stanley Maduka is now requesting your permission, saying, Jide, please permit me to be chairman of BKO Solidarity Movement worldwide. We have 250 members presently. So, how do you approve of this?
What's the group going to be for? Is it to lure me to join politics or what? If the goal is to lure me to join politics, I've always said that I will never be a politician. I will not work for a politician. You know, I won't get involved in either APC or PDP holding positions there. I'm a journalist. That's the best thing that God has done for me. And if I'm not a journalist, I will be singing. I write songs. I'm a good songwriter by my own right. I can do albums, sell my albums, and make money instead of going to politics. But if it's purely to galvanize us, to talk about what's good for our countries, try to seek change in our country, then I give my approval for such a group to be set up.
So we're going to end we're going to make end on what Abdul Samad Omishala says. He says, BKO, thank you for your time and precision. And that's our show for today's edition of Issues with Jide. Special thanks to you, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju, for those insightful analyses as always.
Okay. Thank you, my brother.
Great. And thanks to you, to our audience, for joining us on every edition. You can see the program again anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel, TVC News. Click on the subscribe button to get the latest information. On behalf of the team, I'm Ibrahim Shita. See you again next edition. Bye for now.